Watching Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' awful loss was an absolute pleasure. It was a complete clinic. 21-0 quickly. Miami and Tyreek Hill talk a big game, but flashy, fast, and fun. It's got a ceiling, and it's an outdoor sport where you tackle people. And this speedboat has run aground, as we predicted. Super Bowls are played mostly in rain, cold, and snow leading up to them. Teams need all-weather tires, and Miami doesn't have them. Kansas City is flashy and fun, but they play defense. They make a point of it. Baltimore and Cincinnati, a lot of fun to watch and can be flashy on the perimeter, but you see a toughness. The first half was just manipulation. It was manhandling. It was undressing the Dolphins. Let's be honest about Tua. You got to set that play up. You got to give him time. He's not going to make anything happen athletically. Once Tua is uncomfortable, he's a very average quarterback. So Miami really is what we thought they were, which is a lot of speed, a lot of fun, highly creative, built for September and the first couple of weeks of October. But this sport, it's outdoor, and there's a lot of northern teams that are good. The Baltimores, even Buffalo, Cincinnati. I don't even know if Cincinnati has an indoor practice facility. I don't think they do. And I watched Miami, and they are what we thought they were. They're a pitcher without a second out pitch. And they'll continue to be a marvel with speed. But my entire life, I've watched this sport. The fastest team does not win the Super Bowl. They just don't. The fastest team doesn't. You got to have speed. There's a difference. New England's slow. Can't be that. But this is not a track meet. You tackle people. It's outdoors. You play in snow and wind. Here was Tyreek Hill after.
We got to be able to find ways to not shoot ourselves in the foot. So, because as you see, like, we can play with any team in this league. We do believe that every game is a missed opportunity if we lose, man. So it's our job to come out here and win these games, especially the way that our defense played today. Those guys played tremendous. And if we want to say that we the number one offense in the league, we gotta be able to make plays when it counts.
Also, you can have all the speed in the world on offense. You got to block. That offensive line's not good enough. Baltimore's got a great pass rush. I mean, go look at all the teams in the NFL that are good. Dallas has a great pass rush. Detroit does now. Philadelphia does. San Francisco does. Buffalo usually does. Cincinnati does. Baltimore does. Miami can't block those teams. They can't block them. Spend less money being the fastest team in the world. Spend more money on tackles. But they just, especially with Tua, got health issues, size issues, not hyper athletic. Like, they are not built to win right now going forward.
There have been many, many iconic days in sports. Many are remembered for their glory days. Many are remembered for their infamy. I think that Miami Dolphins fans will soon find out that Monday, November 6th, will be an infamous day for the Miami Dolphins in the 2023 season. Why? I firmly believe, after watching dozens of newscasts, that day, Monday, November 6th, was the day that the media turned their back on the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. There's nothing any Miami Dolphins fan can do other than look away. The barrage has begun. They are being incessant with what they're saying about the Miami Dolphins. The hate campaign, if you will, has begun in earnest. Here are some cuts of what people have been saying about the Miami Dolphins over the last week, and I think it's only going to get worse. God forbid if the Miami Dolphins lose another game or two before the end of the season. But right now, as it stands, you will remember Monday, November 6th, as the day the media turned on the Miami Dolphins. Take a listen.
This was Chris Broussard and Nick Wright on First Things First. They talk to players, other players speak and tell each other what's going on. Take a listen to what these guys say and how they completely embarrass the Miami Dolphins.
Have the Dolphins been exposed, bro?
No, because I told you a week or two ago they were a bunch of breakdowns. I mean, Ricky. I told you that after Philadelphia. Maybe I should have said it after Buffalo. So we knew what Miami was. A lot of style, not as much substance. Fun to watch.
Right.
I said that Miami is the type of team that when you got beef, when you got a problem, they would rather break dance, settle it with some break dancing than fighting.
Right.
The top teams in the league, and I'll give your Chiefs this credit, Philadelphia, San Francisco, they want to fight. They want to knuckle up.
They want to punch you in the mouth. The big, strong, physical teams take pride in beating your ass.
On the pop lock, kick worm, up rock, or whatever, all that stuff. All right, now.
Doesn't work.
They weren't exposed. I hate to say this. Tua was.
Yikes.
And I don't mean he's not a good quarterback, but you guys know I've been hesitant to just give him his props as a great quarterback. All right, whether some time you get
MVP leaders at some point.
We talked about this earlier. Who's the MVP? I don't know who the heck the MVP is right now. It's just wide open. But look, at the end, what they did, if he doesn't get rid of that ball to the first option, then he's struggling.
You throw off the
he's not as mobile as
everybody's seeing it. That's not a narrative. That's true. If you jam his first read, not that he doesn't see other reads, well, even though there were a couple plays where the guy was wide open, but if he doesn't see or look past the first read, he doesn't have time. That could be offensive line. That's something that Mike McDaniel said, but he's vulnerable. I'll leave it at that.
Mahomes and these other guys. Well, here's the thing. With a minute 12 left, and they had a chance to win. I thought they were going to tie it up. All right. What does he do? He almost, this one, I mean, it's miscommunication. I know it's miscommunication, but it can't happen at that point.
You're 9 games into this season. How can you still be having this kind of, quote, miscommunication? Whatever that miscommunication is, whoever it was, to me, what it appears to me is that unless he's throwing to Tyreek, and I did a video and I said it, he's doing 42% of his passing yards go to Tyreek. Back in the day with Marino, the two marks were about 27 and 26%. He is focusing on Tyreek. 42% of his yards go to Tyreek. So I'm a defensive coordinator, and as a defensive coordinator, I say, if I shut down Tyreek, if I take Tyreek away, there goes 42% of his offense right out the window. If I know that, and now you know that, a defensive coordinator now knows that, what do you think they're going to keep trying to do? They're going to keep trying to take away Tyreek Hill.
No, it happens at all quarterbacks, but this cannot happen. That's Owen Hill or the receiver. It's miscommunication. And then the next play to end the game, he just drops the snap.
Yeah.
He just drops it.
So all right. Then quarterbacks playing the Chiefs in big spots.
And so those things cannot happen. And here's the other thing. Let's see this graphic about Tua.
All right. Now, you guys are big stat hounds. Look at this graph. I have a couple more videos. I'm going a little bit long here, but I'll probably cut it short. But look at this graph. Those of you who are all about stats, I'm going to pause here so you have a chance to look at these stats. Under 500 opponents, 6-0, 320 yards passing yards per game, 9.3 yards per pass, 16.5 interception touchdown ratio, and a passer rating of 114.8. Good teams, 0-3. Only 230 yards per game, only 6.8 yards per pass, a horrible 3-2 ratio of touchdown to interception, and an 89.2 passer rating. I just want you to look at that. That's not hating on Tua. That's not at all hating on Tua. What's hating on Tua is people who say that the left side of that chart is all we need to worry about. Then you're not being realistic. When you look at that chart and put a coaching hat on, put on a math hat, whatever you want to do, if you don't recognize that there's a tremendous problem against good teams, then you're the problem. Not me. I'm not hating on Tua. These guys aren't hating on Tua. They're having fun in the studio. But that is the biggest thing. That chart right there says it all. You can't deny it. You can't get away from it. What's causing that to happen? Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to address how can that be happening? How can there be such a tremendous drop-off? How can it possibly be that the numbers on that chart are so drastically different? Am I a hater because I pointed out? Am I a hater because I'm saying, guys, that's like going to the doctor and the doctor saying your pulse or your blood pressure is really good today. What did you eat? Well, I had, some salad and I had some broccoli. Oh, great. Keep doing that. Then you go to the doctor the next day and your blood pressure and everything else is like, whoa, something's wrong. What's wrong? Well, I went out and had I went to Louis Bossy and I had like a big plate of spaghetti. Well, I don't eat that shit. Well, I like the pasta. I like getting there with the gumbas and have some sausage and some pasta, some linguine. I like to have that. It's easy to address. You can see it right there. What's the problem?
Teams above 5 or below 500, he rocks 6-0, 3.
You can look at it. You can't look away, actually. That's not hating. How is that hating? I'm going to take some comments in a second, but I would love for people to tell me how looking at those numbers is hating. How looking at those numbers and seeing the reality of those numbers smack you in the face and go, we're winning. We're 6-3. We're number 1 in the division. So you don't see there's a silent killer there. You don't see that you got a problem. You're just going to ignore it because you're 6-3. Well, man, my leg hurts. Don't worry about it. You're doing well. My back hurts. Oh, don't worry about it. You're doing well. No, my back really hurts. I'm doing well. There's something wrong. There is something drastically wrong, and people don't want to hear it. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen any sort of fan base get faced with reality, get shown what's really happening, and say you're a hater for even talking about it. I can't take it. As one guy said, this is BS. I gotta look away. I can't. Why? Why don't you want to hear realism? I don't get it. This is probably gonna freak you out. This is what got people really pissed off on Twitter yesterday and today. Didn't even want to address it. So basically what I had said was there's a difference between a narrative that's true and an opinion. Everything I've said thus far is a narrative that's absolutely true. You can actually see the results. You understand. What I'm about to show you is an opinion that's bubbling up, and that opinion that's bubbling up, a lot of people are beginning to talk about. Listen to this. This is nuts.
Either one. He actually done 6 wins, we go. We show it 3 against the good teams. The losses have come to the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Bills. The teams they beat are combined at 11-30. Now, Robert, no one's saying, or at least I'm not saying, that they can't beat good teams, they just haven't. Right? In order to, which they will have to do at some point if they want to be who they want to be, what needs to happen?
The Miami Dolphins are a good team.
Now, understand you're looking at a former quarterback, a former defensive tackle, and a former defensive back. All 3 of them have professional level experience. All 3 of them have been analysts in addition to players. One of these guys speaks his mind completely and tells you what he's thinking, his opinion. And you're going to see the other guys go, ooh, you went there? Listen to this. This is...
But to be great, they have to win that game. And for me, it comes down to what Tua Tagovailoa is doing at the end of game. Tua is a great quarterback. He's also played the position probably better than anyone has this year. Leading the league in passing yards and touchdown passes and quarterback rating.
So he's giving you the stats. Leading the league in this, leading the league in that. He's doing great, except against winning teams.
Here in this situation, what are you doing, man? You can't put your team in that situation. Obviously, you want to say, hey...
You're showing the game clips, which I can't show.
They got to protect him. But also, when you talk about these types of throws, you got to be able to hit those in those crucial moments. And then this one was probably the one that everyone's wondering what happened. Right, it's a double boot. He's got Cedric Wilson Jr. down the sideline and he throws it short. You never really see that. And then here, back to back.
No one's explained what happened with that play. They just call it a miscommunication. Don't know how it was miscommunicated. Don't know who hey, Mike, who did it wrong? Did the receiver run the wrong route? Did Tua throw it the wrong place? Nobody explained it.
You see a play where he just takes his eyes off of the football on the snap. Some people don't believe the sin, but I promise you, if you ask Tua, he'll say, hey, that was on me.
Which he did in the presser. Tua 100% said that blown snap was on him. So now listen to what gets said here.
For me, this offense is their strongest asset, right? But they go over there overseas and they left it at baggage claim. Yeah. They convert a third down until the middle of the third quarter, guys. So when you talk about what do they have to do to win those games, they did what good teams do. They came back in the second half and they made a game out of it. But your quarterback is a great player, but if he wants to be that $50 million type of quarterback, he has to make those plays at the end of the game.
Just so you know, again, I mentioned Stephen Ross. There ain't no way in hell he's given Tua a big contract. No way in hell, given what he's been seeing and given the differentiation in numbers thus far. He's going to have to take this team deep into the playoffs. Now listen to what's going to get said.
Okay, so I'm not talking about Mayor. I got a question for you. I'm not talking about manhood. I ain't talking about none of that. And see,
so he kind of slurred that. He goes, I'm not talking about his manhood. But he actually is.
Afraid. It's too afraid. Like we talked about the concussions last year. We know that has to play a part in how he plays in these games. To me, I'm gonna tell you what it looks like to me, and then you answer this, RG. Right.
Watch Robert RG3's face here.
As a defensive player, it seems when pressure is coming towards Tua, right, he falls before he figures out what can happen after that pressure.
The tape from this past game certainly says it shows that he when he gets stuck with the ball in his hand, it becomes hard for him to make those extra plays. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. When it comes to mobility, his greatest weapon is his accuracy and his timing. And when you shut that down, it can be a problem. And also the run after the catch for his wide receivers, they were all over them all day.
Let me go cut you off, please. He doesn't have an exit plan, right? He has a plan for when everything's going well. He doesn't have a plan that are just when you stop what he's great at, and that's the thing that they're going to have to find in Miami.
All right, so what you've heard thus far is somebody asked him if he was afraid, didn't want to question his manhood, and then RC just said there's no exit plan, there's no backup, there's no plan B, no plan C if the play breaks down. I got to throw it down. I said in my video the other day that the mobility issue is a problem. The mobility issue is if he is threatened, just to get rid of it. Now, I was one of the guys myself. I will admit, I was one of the guys myself. Tua, don't be a hero. If it's not there, throw it away. Hit the cheerleader was one of the things I said. Don't try to extend the play. But now, the game and this offense has evolved to such a point where it's becoming an impediment. And what I mean by that is if everybody knows the same thing that we know, hey, don't run. Don't put yourself in a position where you might get hurt, where even he might be thinking, I can't do this, where Mike McDaniel has said, don't run. The defenses now know he's not going to run. He's basically setting himself up to be a sitting duck back there. This is the quarterback that Mike McDaniel wanted to go with, and I'm going to devise my entire offense around the fact that Tua won't have to run because of the quick release and will get the ball out fast and he won't get hit. He won't be in that position. Now you're at mid-season and the good teams with good personnel, I keep wanting to say that, good teams with good personnel, they all see it too. Hey, he's not going to run. You know what? Darius Slay said it. We knew if we could stop his first read, not that he's a one-read quarterback, but if we could stop his first read, he's going to be back there flat-footed, and we can just bring the heat. You're seeing it over and over. Kansas City, Chuck Tyreek, Chuck Berrios. We're very physical at the point of attack with the receivers so that the first read wouldn't be there. giving these guys time to go after him. And they know they pretty much have some red meat sitting back there because he's not going to run. So in essence, what we're saying, and they're saying, is that defenses have caught up to Mike McDaniel's system. They're ignoring the motion. They're stopping the first read, and they're bringing the heat with edge rushers coming after Tua, knowing he won't run. If you've ever been hunting and you notice the look of the deer in your eyes, they're stuck. They're not going to move. They're basically just red meat waiting for you to take them down. Understand, 2 weeks, the Dolphins are going to go up against the close to number one edge rusher in the league, Max Crosby. Max Crosby is a beast. And I don't know if Teron Armstead's side or the other side, but he's got to be coming. He's got to be coming. And so listen to what they say here, which is really, really hard to swallow.
To be fair to him, he needs to protect himself.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a fine line between protecting himself. And I hear what you're saying, because the tape shows the minute that he's escaping, it's like, how I did some grass. I get that.
The big thing is, I don't think you can win in this league like that.
Understood.
That's my issue. It's like, do we think that Tua is going to be able to sit in the pocket and win a Super Bowl? Over the last 5 years, we haven't seen it happen. Mm-hmm. We've seen these dudes have to, at times, pat Mahomes' legs, devastating in the playoffs. Joe Burrow, escapability, athleticism. We started talking about the guys that's been there. Like, these guys, they not dual threat. They can use their legs, get out arms way. I don't see that from Tua.
That is what people are seeing. That's what defensive coordinators are telling these guys. I saw something earlier with Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky has been a huge Tua advocate. He's saying the same thing now. Go look it up. It's on NFL Live. He said, based upon what Mike McDaniel has done, he has let the Tigers know that the deer at quarterback isn't going to take off. Can you imagine right now, you're a defensive coordinator and you smell vulnerability. You smell an opportunity that if we can stop Tyreek on his first read, the guy who has 42% of the offense, it would give me time to get my guys after the deer behind the line of scrimmage. If everybody knows, oh, he's not going to run. He's not going to take off. He's basically just going to sit back there and try to fight a throw. We'll get him to throw off his back foot. Again, none of this matters if you don't have the personnel. Let's just put a big asterisk there. It doesn't matter if you're slow like the Patriots. It doesn't matter if you don't have the people to get it done. Tua's going to pick you apart. Absolutely going to pick you apart. But when you get into playoff caliber football and you got to face Eagles, Cowboys, that's on the other side, Jacksonville, just go through the teams who have, once you get there, everybody's got top level personnel. Yeah, you may get through there and have an unbelievable record with unbelievable stats. What are you gonna do when you get to, and you have to play every single game is an Eagles, Chiefs caliber type team? Ravens. What do you do at that point? Are you guys all who love the stats ready to accept a one and done in the playoffs? I don't think Stephen Ross is. I don't think Mike McDaniel is. Maybe he is. Maybe he's looking at another year before he gets things done. But if everybody in the league, and I do mean every single defensive coordinator, every single edge rusher is sitting here with a clicker and they're just, rewind it. He's not going to run. He can't run. He's going to stay right there. We got him boxed in. You don't know how much they watch tape. If you've never had to do that, where you spend an entire day, first step, second step, first step, second step. Look at his eyes. What's he doing? He's not going to run. He's got to throw the ball away. What do you do? This isn't hating. This is realism. This is true. So it is what it is.
Tua 21 of 34, 193, one touchdown, fumbled a snap on fourth down. Looks like he saw the ball. It's coming. The one thing about Jim Schwartz, if you watch the Kansas City Chiefs, he
coming.
He gonna blow you up. They call it zero, we call it ball.
Yeah.
We blowing it up. The blast radius is gonna be astronomical.
Yeah.
Oh, we coming. And to do it was in Frankfurt. Excuse me, I'm sorry, not Munich. It was in Frankfurt. What was your takeaway? What do you? And I'm gonna give you my thoughts, but I want you to go first. What do you see from the Dolphins?
Listen, I thought the game was completely over. You know, when you play Madden and a team and then saying somebody beating you 21-zip, that's skunk. You got to get up. You got to get up off them sticks. You got to get off them sticks. But for them to go in at the half, down 21-zip, and then fight back and make it a game, and it was 20-14, I say, oh, we good. And I'm saying we because I'm from Miami. So I'm saying, oh, we good. We got there.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what in the hell is going on. The 4th down. We need that opportunity. You can't make that mistake at that moment to give us an opportunity to tie the game. We need that. Even if the blitz is coming, secure the catch so you have an opportunity to get the ball to somebody. Because if there's zero blitz coming, oh baby, somebody open.
Yes.
Somebody open. We needed it, and I wish he would have caught that ball so we could have saw what would have happened.
You remember he missed Cedric Wilson Jr. earlier
on the deep ball.
He said they got confused. He threw the ball like it was going to be a back shoulder. He ran it like it was going to be a go ball. So,
but the corner was nowhere near.
Oh yeah. And so I thought Tyreek was too apt. He wanted to play too well. Two huge drops, a fumble that resulted in the 7, and that's what happened. You know, you put so much emphasis. I want to show you made a mistake. You should have gave me my money. I could have still been. So you know, you just get. I want to do it. I want to do it.
You drop balls. Drop balls happen. You dropped them. I dropped them. And being that maybe because Reek said what he said.
Yes.
Through the media about they gonna get this work. But listen, he didn't have a bad game. He was 8 for 62. He lost it. He did lose the fumble. Maybe trying to do a little too much. With the ball in his hands. But that's the way he plays. That's the way he plays. And you never want to change that dynamic of a special player like that. You're gonna have games like this. It just came at the wrong time.
But what we've seen, Ocho, with the exception of the Broncos, the Dolphins keep starting slow. Remember, they started down 14-0 till it was down to the Giants, and we see them do I think it was Carolina, not the Giants, it was Carolina. And then they come on against teams with a winning record. They're 0-3, averaging 17 points. Teams that don't have a winning record, they're 6-0, averaging 39 points.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what Dolphin fans want us to do, because all I know is when they play somebody that's on their level, they're over and they average 39, 17. But when they play someone that they can run over, they average 39 points.
Right.
I don't know if the numbers just speak for themselves. I mean, I ain't adding nothing, taking nothing away from them. They play 3 teams winning record. They're 0-3. They play 6 teams that doesn't have a winning record. They're 6-0.
Yeah, but see, they're playing really well against teams that of a lesser caliber. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna be disrespectful, to the teams that are below 500, but teams that are of lesser caliber. And in order for Miami to compete, obviously in the playoffs, games like today, where you almost had opportunity to win, you have to win those games. Teams that are above 500, you have to play that much better and minimize penalties, minimize errors, so you always have an opportunity to win. Always. Yes. And that's one of the reasons that they're not. The penalties are killing them. The turnovers are killing them. And obviously, you can't make those mistakes.
So let me ask you a question. So what am I supposed to do? I haven't seen them do it against really good teams. So am I supposed to believe that they can do it, or do I wait until they show me they can do it?
Well, I think you should believe that they can do it, because being down 20, I mean, look at today. They lost the game. But being down 21-zip and still fighting back to have opportunity to actually tie that game at the end against Kansas City Chiefs, arguably, we would consider what not the best team in the league right now, but the way they're playing with the best quarterback. It was a great battle. It was a great duel.
You do realize the team that just beat Kansas City last week, the Dolphins on 70 on.
Yeah.
So you keep telling
this is week to week now. Come on now. And the Chiefs played goddamn great defense today.
I sleep
The
better.
Chiefs played great defense today. We got to give them some goddamn credit too.
They play really. Their defense is really outstanding.
I got a question. And it's not even in the notes. But I got to give a big up to Ladarius Sneed. Did I say his name the right way?
Yeah, Ladarius Sneed. Yes.
Oh my goodness. One of the few times I've seen someone.
So that quick jam press we put on
I saw it twice. And I tweeted it out and said, wait a minute, that's the first time I see someone actually time the quick jam right and actually get a hand on Reek. But most of the time, Reek is able to dip a shoulder and get up under that and be out of there.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've seen it work since Tyreek has been in the league. The first time. And I don't think anyone else has to pull that against Reek. But Ladarius Sneed, if you see this, man, I salute you. I've never seen that before. Good game today. Very good game today.
I'm definitely going to do it, especially if I know I got help over the top, at least once. Because the guys, that used to be a bear. Guys don't do it as much as they used to.
Right.
Because you can latch on to the guys, they call it freeze technique. They like, you go, bam, they right there on you, and all of a sudden you fighting to get off, the quarterback's going to go somewhere else. But yeah, give him, think about it, Ocho. They got Wilson on the field, they got Waddle on the field, and they got Reed. And Jim Ford says, I don't give a damn who on the field. We finna pull this thing.
Right. Yeah, that covers zero. That covers zero as hell, man.